It had been 15 years since Clara's supposed redemption, and 2 years since Julian had been abroad without a word. Then, suddenly, he was standing on our doorstep. He held a wedding invitation, his and Serena's, and his eyes were red-rimmed as he handed it to Clara. He spoke in a soft, almost broken voice. "Clara, you told me once that if you couldn't be the one to marry me and make me happy, you would personally hand me over to the woman who could. Does that promise still stand? I'm marrying Serena, and you'll come to the wedding, won't you?" As if by some cruel twist of fate, their wedding was scheduled for the very next day, the same day that was supposed to be mine and Clara's. Seeing the tears begin to well up in Clara's eyes, I knew with a sinking certainty that my wedding was about to be completely derailed. She was, after all, the deeply devoted second lead, constitutionally incapable of refusing any request from the story's main character. My name is Leo, and I was not originally a part of this world. I was selected by a system and dropped here with a single, clear mission. My target was Clara. In the original narrative, she was the quintessential tragic secondary female character, the one chosen by countless readers as the character they felt the most unresolved sorrow for. She was beautiful, gentle, exceptionally talented, and came from a wealthy family. More than anything, she was devoted, deeply and completely in love with Julian, the story's protagonist. For years, as Julian and the main female lead, Serena, were caught in a turbulent cycle of breaking up and getting back together, Clara was his constant, unwavering presence. She stood faithfully behind him, always just a glance away. Whenever Julian was hurt and needed comfort, tired and needed a place to rest, or frightened and needed shelter, she would always offer a gentle smile and open her arms, whispering, "I'm right here." In the end, Julian and Serena found their happily ever after. After giving every part of herself to Julian, Clara chose to retreat into a life of seclusion. If she had simply stayed away from the world, living a quiet and peaceful life, the readers might not have felt such a profound sense of loss for her. But the plot, it seemed, was not finished with her. 6 months after Julian's wedding, following another heated argument with Serena, he left and sought out Clara for solace. That same day, a massive earthquake struck. Clara shielded Julian with her own body, creating a pocket of safety for him that lasted for an entire day and night until the rescue team finally arrived. Though she could have been evacuated first, she insisted that the team rescue Julian before her. Just moments after Julian was pulled from the wreckage, a powerful aftershock hit. Her body, along with the rubble of the house, vanished into the deep cracks that had opened in the earth. At that moment, Clara had finally fulfilled her designated role and completed her mission as the secondary female lead. Her love for Julian was portrayed as grand and pure, untainted by evil, jealousy, or possessiveness. It was a love of sincere admiration and unconditional care. This character was a beacon of light, which is precisely why so many readers felt an intense heartache for her. I was one of those readers. So, when I discovered that the system would allow me to intervene and alter Clara's original fate, I was ecstatic. I dedicated 15 years of my life to meticulously avoiding all the pivotal, tragic moments in her story, including her predestined death. Now, as long as there were no unexpected developments, the remainder of her life was set to be safe and happy. Just the day before, the system had informed me that my mission progress had reached 99% and could be considered accomplished at any moment. Because the world had now detached itself from the original plot, Clara was no longer bound to repeat her past tragedy. If only Julian hadn't shown up. Without the constraints of the plot, Julian and Serena were the real-life embodiment of a dashing young heir and his independent, powerful female CEO, endlessly chasing, breaking up, and reconciling in a tangled saga. Their lives had evolved from a passionate and abusive drama into the cornerstone of a love pursuit narrative, eventually settling into something resembling a soap opera family drama. Their real lives were far more dramatic than the original plot, which had only delayed their wedding by a few years. Perhaps my presence, like the flap of a butterfly's wing, had changed the course of things. The characters in this world seemed less driven by predetermined plot points, and certain catalysts might have been lost along the way. With my interference, Clara's interactions with them had diminished significantly, especially after Julian left with Serena 2 years ago. They had effectively cut all ties. I had assumed that if they ever met again, they would be nothing more than polite acquaintances. But from the moment Julian appeared, the look in Clara's eyes told me she was still that deeply devoted second lead who loved him more than anything. I immediately checked in with the system. Will the main character's return affect my mission progress? The system's response was reassuring. It wouldn't. I relaxed, though a part of me remained bewildered. If the main character could no longer impact Clara's future, then I had nothing to worry about. Even if she continued to love Julian, it wouldn't affect my mission. With that thought, I calmed myself down. Watching the two of them standing together, lost in what felt like their own private world, I had to remind myself of my purpose. My mission was to ensure she lived a long and happy life, in accordance with the wishes of countless readers. How she chose to live that life was her own decision. If seeing Julian and being near him was what truly made her happy, then that was her choice. I watched as Clara's trembling hands accepted the invitation. She looked at Julian for a long, silent moment, and the longing that had been frozen by the passage of time quickly began to thaw. Intense emotions poured from her usually calm and composed eyes. I had to admit, no matter how much time passed, Julian was always the one who could stir the depths of her soul. As her legitimate fiancé, watching her become so visibly distraught over another man should have made me feel sad, angry, disappointed, or jealous. But I felt none of those things. Firstly, I didn't feel I had the right, and secondly, I had grown completely accustomed to the different way Clara treated Julian. I was remarkably calm, to the point where I even began mentally drafting a list of whom to inform first about the last-minute wedding cancellation. The initial notifications would need to be sincere, accompanied by a proper apology. After all, a number of guests from out of town had already arrived. Explaining the situation to Clara's parents was going to be particularly tricky. They were, at that very moment, busy putting the finishing touches on our marital home. As I was mulling over the logistics, Clara suddenly gave me a sharp push. I stumbled back a step and caught my balance. Once I was steady, I looked at her and asked, "What's wrong?" By the time she faced me, she had already schooled her emotions. The restrained excitement from moments before was gone, replaced by a cold composure. "Julian is speaking to you." "Oh," I replied quickly, adjusting my own expression before turning with a smile to Julian. "What did you say?" Julian hunched his shoulders, looking intimidated, and lowered his head, softly apologizing. "I'm sorry for asking something so outrageous. Even if you don't agree, I cut him off. "Who said I didn't agree? I do." He looked up, his expression a mixture of shock and disbelief. "You mean it?" Maintaining a perfect smile, I glanced at Clara beside me. She was observing me, seemingly worried that I would refuse, a hint of tension in her gaze. I offered her a reassuring smile. "Don't worry, darling. I won't cause a scene, nor will I give Mr. Sincere here any trouble. You go to their wedding. I'll handle notifying everyone about the cancellation of ours." She clearly hadn't expected me to be so understanding. For a moment, she looked stunned. Then a wave of relief washed over her features. "So, what about our wedding?" I reassured her. "There's no rush. We can talk about it later." She finally seemed at ease and quickly turned to Julian. "I'll be there on time tomorrow." Julian smiled happily, but after his gaze met mine, he quickly composed himself and reverted to his meek demeanor. His behavior both amused and intrigued me. "Hey, Julian," I said, "I've been wanting to ask you something. Why do you always act like a mouse that's seen a cat whenever you're around me? We've known each other for 15 years. Apart from that one time I scolded you in high school, have I ever done anything else to you? You know I yelled at you because it was your own fault, right?" Julian bit his lip, looking as though he was on the verge of tears, and glanced helplessly at Clara. Clara frowned and positioned herself protectively in front of him. "Leo, I sighed and raised my hands in surrender. Okay, I get it. I won't ask anymore. You two can talk. I'll go handle canceling the wedding." I didn't need to think twice to know she was about to tell me to back off and apologize to Julian. It had happened countless times over the past 15 years, regardless of whether I was in the wrong or not. I headed to the study, leaving the living room to them. It took me a full 3 hours to send out all the cancellation notices, field over 20 calls, and personally explain and apologize to each person. When I finally emerged from the study, Clara and Julian were gone. I thought about calling Clara to ask where she had gone, but then I noticed a notification for a new social media post from Julian. I wasn't particularly interested, but a gut feeling told me it was about Clara, so I clicked on it. The caption was simple. "Even across mountains and seas, I look back and you're still there." The picture was a silhouette of him and Clara, their hands forming a heart shape against the sunset. It was such a childish gesture, not something the 28-year-old Clara I knew would typically do, but she did it, because Julian was by her side. I decided against calling her. Instead, I went out for a bowl of my favorite shrimp noodles and treated myself to some bubble tea. Reuniting with the man she had loved for so long, only to find out he was marrying someone else, had to be difficult for her. I didn't want to get in her way. She didn't come home that night. The next morning she called and asked me to go to Julian and Serena's wedding with her. I didn't want to go. I wasn't close with either Julian or Serena, and Serena and I had a complicated history. Besides, they hadn't invited me. But Clara was insistent, almost forceful. We had been together for years. Our relationship wasn't exactly a passionate romance, but we got along well and respected each other. She had never pushed me on anything, except when it came to matters involving Julian. I had a feeling something was up. It turned out that Julian had asked her to bring me along. Since it was Julian's wish, my own feelings were not a concern for her. I felt a surge of annoyance build up inside me, but I quickly suppressed it. Before I could speak, she urged me again, "Leo, today is Julian's wedding. Can you just—" I cut her off. "Fine, I'll go, so stop calling me unreasonable." Seriously, I've never been unreasonable. I predicted that I would be the butt of the joke for the entire day. As we arrived at the hotel, I told Clara, "I'm going to be a laughingstock today." She frowned slightly, but I quickly stopped her from speaking. "I know, you're going to tell me to relax. I know. I'll try to keep my cool and not do anything too embarrassing at the wedding. So, Clara, just for today, don't stand against me." "Leo, She was about to say something when Julian, dressed in his wedding suit, came over and looped an arm around hers, grinning. "Clara, you made it!" Even though we had arrived together, he acted as if he didn't even see me. What I did notice, right away, was the jade necklace he was wearing. It was something the system had prompted me to create as a gift, a design that Clara and I had sketched together, and she had personally crafted. We had planned to wear our matching pieces at our wedding, yet she had given his to Julian. I felt a hot flash of anger rise within me, then just as quickly fade, thanks to the system stabilizing my emotions. I took a deep breath, feeling calmer, and mentally thanked the system. There's no need for this. I'm fine. After all, her giving my things to Julian wasn't new. I was used to it. At my birthday party years ago, Julian had taken a liking to a bracelet the system had given me, and she had handed it over to him without even asking me. When I tried to take it back, she stood in front of Julian, clearly unhappy with me. "It's just a bracelet. I can buy you a better one. Don't compete with Julian over it," I argued. "It's mine. He's the one taking it from me." Then Julian, with tears in his eyes, returned it. "I don't want it if it's going to cause a fight. You two shouldn't argue because of me." I laughed at his twisted logic. "You had no right to it in the first place. Why are you acting upset?" Again, Clara blamed me. "Julian already gave it back. Do you have to be so pushy?" Who was really being pushy here? Later, because Julian liked strawberries, she gave him all the strawberries from my birthday cake. That was the day I started to seriously question why I had ever liked this woman in the first place. The qualities I had once appreciated in her suddenly seemed blurry and indistinct. We weren't together then, and her favoring the main male character wasn't really my place to critique. But now, as my fiancé, giving something with such special meaning to Julian didn't sit right with me, even if I could overlook it. But for the sake of the mission, I endured. I'm here to help her, not to love her. I had long since lost any interest in earning her love. Sometimes I can't help but wonder why I am saving someone like this. Perhaps some characters are only admirable from a distance. Getting too close, learning too much, only leads to disappointment. Clara didn't notice my shift in mood. With Julian around, he was all she saw. What was that gaze? It was a mixture of shock, yearning, and a deep, laced pain. I wanted to tell her that staring at another woman's groom like that wasn't appropriate, but seeing her so completely entranced, I stayed silent. If it didn't concern the mission, it didn't concern me. She mumbled, almost dreamily, "Julian, you—" I walked away, not wanting to listen. Poetic praise and confessions that sound romantic in books feel nauseating when heard in person. And it's as if she has no consideration for me at all. As my fiancé, looking at another man like that right in front of me. Where does that leave me? I don't get jealous, but I don't want to be the subject of pity and jokes either. But apparently, I already was. From the moment I agreed to attend this wedding, I became a joke. I don't even know why Julian wanted me here. He didn't invite me yesterday. He ignored me just now. And he knows how much Serena dislikes me. But he got Clara to bring me here in a way that made it look like I had shamelessly insisted on coming. It would be more bearable if Clara would stand by my side, making me seem less out of place, less embarrassing. But oh well. There's no use regretting it now. Bring it on. Let the storm hit harder. I'm fine on my own, just a bit irritated. Those around me began to whisper and point, their words just loud enough for everyone to hear. So ironic. How does he even dare to show his face? If I had a wedding canceled like that, I'd disappear to a place where no one knows me. Eyes filled with ridicule openly scanned me, as if they were worried I might miss their disdainful stares. Can you even compare yourself to him? His face is much thicker than the rest of us. Back in the day, Clara left him alone at their engagement party. Most people would be too ashamed to show their face again. But not him. He shamelessly completed the engagement party on his own. He even sang a song for everyone. Quite a brown-noser, right? Too bad Clara never liked him. They seemed to know everything. 3 years ago, on the day Clara and I were supposed to get engaged, Julian left the country. He came to say goodbye to Clara at the party, but then ran off without a word. Clara, worried he would do something foolish, chased after him. As for me, staying at the engagement party alone. How absurd. The ceremony was almost over, and the guests were ready to eat. One of the main characters was missing. Should I have abandoned all the guests, too? Isn't it basic etiquette not to leave your guests hanging? And what's wrong with singing? Did they forget my day job? I'm in the music business. My record label is one of the biggest in the country. Some people, however, spoke up for me. You're being too harsh. Doesn't Clara have issues too? Why propose if she didn't like him? She decided to marry him and then backed out. That's her fault. Why mock the man who got rejected? Could any of you be as strong as Leo if this happened to you? One day, if you find yourselves in a similar situation, would you want people to ridicule you? The whispers retreated as people tried not to lose face. If we were in that situation, we wouldn't make a fool of ourselves. We'd never do what he did. I smiled gratefully at the young man who had stood up for me and thanked him. Then I turned to the gossipers. Even if you wanted to, you'd need the ability. I may be shameless, but I get what I want. Can you maybe try taking a little baby step first? You? Yeah, what about it? If you think a few whispers are going to make me go away crying, think again. I'll just make sure that when you try to break into the entertainment industry, I'll block you at every step of the way. I shrugged with a grin. What can I say? I'm shameless like that. Some of them, those who were on the verge of breaking into the industry, even started crying, while others scrambled to comfort them, leaving me be for a while. After they had settled down, I chuckled. Just messing with you guys. The moment I said it, I heard a familiar voice from behind me. Look who it is. Isn't it the famous musician? What are you doing here instead of planning your own wedding? I didn't need to turn around to know it was Serena, today's bride. She walked over, eyeing me up and down with a gloating expression. Oh, that's right. Your wedding got canceled. You wouldn't be here to ruin mine, would you? You're so good at ruining things for others, after all. She was someone with a mean streak, someone I had crossed back in college, and she had hated me ever since. Before I had made a name for myself, she often tried to mess with me. If it weren't for a few lucky breaks, I might not even be here today. As I grew in stature, opened my own company, and gained some social clout, I paid her back in kind, and then some. She stopped messing with me directly, but her sharp tongue never did. It was just me she didn't spare. Calculating briefly, Serena is with Julian. Julian loves Clara, and upsetting Serena might upset Julian. If Julian is upset, Clara will be upset, possibly jeopardizing my hard-earned progress. So, I decided to let this slide. I smiled and handed her a gift-wrapped box. Serena, don't worry. I'm just here to pass on my blessings. Wishing you and Julian a lifetime of happiness. She skeptically took the box and tore it open. To her surprise, inside was a brooch adorned with the Eye of the Demon, the most expensive emerald of the last decade, designed by Clara. It was a one-of-a-kind piece. It perfectly matched the necklace around her own neck. They were a set. One piece had been given away, so there was no point in me keeping the other. I had asked for it to be brought over. Even someone as confident as Serena was stunned by my generosity. Are you sure you want to give this to me? Are you out of your mind? I assured her. Seriously, there's no poison. It's yours now. That's when Clara arrived. Her face drained of color when she saw the brooch. She looked at me, about to say something, when Julian appeared. The necklace around his neck shimmered as it caught the light, reflecting off the brooch in Serena's hand. Clara, the MC had said, when we get to the banquet hall, be a knight. Take Serena's hand like she's a princess and lead her over to me. I wasn't interested in their wedding agenda and didn't want to be involved. I had given the gift, so I figured I would just wait to enjoy the meal. With a polite smile, I turned away, found a corner to sit in, and started thinking about what happens after this whole task is over. The system said Julian no longer affects Clara's fate. Clara still loves Julian, So our engagement seems unnecessary now. Once Julian and Serena's wedding wraps up, I should probably talk to Clara and discuss going our separate ways. Come to think of it, I've been by her side for 15 years now. After we part, she can continue being that devoted second lead, silently supporting Julian as his strongest ally. That's her favorite place, her happiest spot. As for me, I can finally go home. I think once I'm back, I won't read this novel again. I probably won't feel the same fondness or pity for Clara that I did before, as a reader. And even when I first came into this world, I genuinely felt sorry for Clara and really liked her. I wanted to help her escape the storyline, to live her own life. I liked her the way she liked Julian, fierce, sincere, giving without asking for anything in return. It was my first time in a story, my first time trying to save someone. I didn't know the right way, so I just followed what thousands of readers wished for her. To live happily, to have help, to never be alone, and to get what she wished for. I helped her as much as I could. I even squared off with Serena over it. That was during college. Back then, Clara would consistently oppose me, standing firmly with Julian as I fought to protect her. She would insist, "Ease off. Julian didn't do anything wrong. Don't take it out on him." It's my choice. It's not related to Julian. "Leo, Julian is timid. Stop bullying him." Through frustration and disappointment, I learned to help Clara while steering clear of Julian. That's why I only cussed out Julian that one time in high school. After that, I realized that in her mind, if it involved Julian, I was automatically at fault. Later, Serena misunderstood Clara and Julian's closeness and decided to teach Clara a lesson. When Julian couldn't clarify the situation, Serena gathered a gang to confront Clara in an abandoned building, threatening to harm her. When she was barely conscious from the beating, I ignored the system's warning and lunged at Serena with a box cutter, forcing her to back off. Serena didn't think I'd actually harm her and taunted, "Do it if you dare." "Her hand is mine," I said. "All right, let's see. Your life for her hand." I dragged Serena with me off the building. She fainted from fright, but I had asked the system to place ground cushioning below, just enough to scare her, but not to kill. The gang saw I was serious and scattered. Afterward, I exposed Serena's malicious deeds online, stirring up enough buzz to get her temporarily expelled and disturbing her family's stocks. She was sent abroad by her family. Honestly, I was scared too. The sensation of falling, the threats and intimidation from Serena's family, it all haunted my dreams for days. I had nightmares where I died horribly, until the system measured my fear levels as dangerously high and used high-tech methods to clear my fears. Only then was I relieved. Meanwhile, Julian, upset about Serena's departure, approached me in tears after realizing I was the one who got Serena expelled. He begged me to retract the post that had stirred up the rumors. I refused. The next day, Clara came to me. She said, "Leo, what's done is done. Serena has been punished. Don't dwell on it. Whatever happened, Julian is innocent. You shouldn't let him suffer." Staring at her in disbelief, I asked, "Clara, do you know what you're saying?" She sighed, gently speaking words that hurt deeply in the kindest voice. "Let it go. Apologize to Julian and take down the post." "Me? Apologize to Julian? Why would I do that, Clara? What?" She cut me off, her voice firmer. "Leo, you shouldn't let personal grudges harm innocent people. It's just a change of school for Serena. The real victim here is Julian, and it's your fault." What if I hadn't intervened for her? What grudge would I even have against Serena? "Clara, is this what you truly want? If it is, and I'm supposed to make you happy, then I'll do it, as the one who is here to save you." But then, a constricting pain pulled at my heart, and breathing became difficult. Tears flowed without my control. The system called out my name over and over, urging me to calm down. That's when I blacked out. The system temporarily took over. stating that my sorrow had peaked to a critical level and it had to manage my body for my own well-being, clearing my excessive negative emotions. Just the thought of it deleting the post and making me apologize to Julian made my blood boil. But it was done. I couldn't change it. The only consolation was seeing the task progress bar advance significantly. From then on, the system closely monitored my emotions. It would clear any negative feelings promptly, keeping me unusually stable. Later, Clara confessed to me, saying she felt comfortable being with me. Then she proposed, wanting to be with me for life. To fulfill her wishes, I agreed to her confession and our engagement. But by then, my feelings for her had faded, and staying with her was solely about completing the task. Completing the task meant going home. I realized that the devoted, tragic second lead I had once adored was gone. The Clara now beside me, claiming to love me yet endlessly favoring Julian, was someone I had grown to despise. So I wished for the task to finish quickly, no matter how absurd her requests were, just so it would be done. "Today, after everything, we need to talk," Clara, as Julian's special guest, told me before going on stage. I nodded. "Good timing. I have something to tell you too." While she went on stage, my phone rang. It was Clara's mom, a very gentle woman. She had heard from a friend that I was at Julian and Serena's wedding and was worried I would be mistreated. "Sweetie, don't worry too much. If you're unhappy, just come home. I dare anyone to say you're in the wrong." Her words warmed my heart. I smiled, thankful for her kindness. "Don't worry, Auntie. Who would dare bully me?" After some small talk, she suddenly brought up my wedding with Clara. 3 days from now is a good day for a wedding. Why don't you and Clara choose that day?" I hesitated for a moment, and then decided to tell her the truth. "Auntie, Clara and I probably won't get married." Behind me, I heard the sound of glass shattering. I turned around, but saw nothing. Someone had likely just knocked over a glass. I comforted Clara's mom for a while, explaining why we couldn't get married. After I hung up, back in the hall, Serena was getting ready to toss her bouquet. I returned to my seat, not planning to join in the fun. But Julian brought me into the spotlight. "Leo, aren't you going to try for the bouquet?" I shook my head. "I'll pass. Let it go to someone who needs it more." His eyes got teary, and he said with a choked voice, "You really won't try? Because of me, Leo? The bride's bouquet means blessings. Do you hate us so much that you won't even accept our blessings?" I felt morally cornered, but this wasn't the time for that. "If that's what you think, I can't help it." Just as I finished speaking, someone grabbed my wrist with a cold touch. I didn't need to look. It was Clara. Here we go again. The devoted girl rushing to help the wrong guy. "Why aren't you trying to catch the bouquet?" she asked. I instantly understood. This was Julian's wedding. I couldn't let him remember something unpleasant. "Do I have to catch it? Clara, is this really what you want?" She stared into my eyes. "Yes, I want you to try." I still missed the bouquet in the end. Standing on the left side, closest to the stage, Julian tossed it to the farthest right corner. I explained to Clara, "See, it's not that I didn't try, I just didn't catch it." For some reason, her face turned as pale as a ghost, filled with a despair that seemed hard to describe. The last time I saw this expression was when she found out Julian had blocked her once he went abroad. But what was the reason now? I figured it out quickly. Maybe it's because Julian was now married, and she felt she would no longer be needed. I figured I should comfort her. After all, my task progress was at 99.99%, just 0.01% left. Maybe a few comforting words could complete it. Thinking this, I patted her shoulder and said, "Don't be too sad. Since he's back, he probably won't leave again. You'll see each other often." Her eyes, once so lively, now looked dim. Her voice was filled with an unbearable pain. "Is that all you have to say?" I shook my head. "No. We'll talk more at home. This isn't the place." She suddenly let go of my arm and stepped back, flustered, saying she had other things to do and that I should head back myself. Watching her stumbling away, I sighed slightly. "Hey, system. We've worked together for so long. Can't you just give me this 0.01%? Well, as soon as I finished speaking, I got a system notification. Host, your task is complete." "Ah, just like that?" Surprised, I asked, "Does this mean I can go home now?" The system replied, "Yes." I was overjoyed and felt like jumping up. 15 years. I've been here for 15 whole years. Finally, I can go home. Excitedly, I walked outside the hotel. Just as I stepped out, a body fell in front of me, hitting the ground with a sickening thud. Warm liquid splattered onto my face. Screams filled the air. "Someone jumped!" It was Clara. Clara was dead. It happened so suddenly. Her phone only had a single text, resembling a goodbye note. "Even you gave up on me. I no longer have a reason to exist." Who this "you" was in her message, I couldn't tell. I can only say she was quite foolish. Julian would never give up on her. There were many times he would need her in the future. She just had to keep living. By dying, she cheapened my 15 years of redemption. Her decision, however, did not stop me from going home. Thinking this, I realized how cold I had become. When did I stop caring about her fate? I found that I couldn't remember anymore. My love for her seemed to have been forgotten. I couldn't recall the Clara I once loved. But this didn't stop me from thinking her death was suspicious. What a coincidence that it happened right after I completed my task. I couldn't help but think her death was related to my mission, so I asked the system. Unexpectedly, it gave me an answer. She died because she failed her task. Her task? I instantly understood. Was her task related to mine? The system confirmed it. It turns out Clara and I were task partners. My mission was to change her fate, while hers was to keep my love. Clearly, she had failed. I came to this world overflowing with love for her, but she shot it down, time and time again until there was nothing left. If she had known her life depended on my love, would things have been different? Whatever. It doesn't matter now. The system said, "Characters abandoned by readers have no reason to exist." As I was swallowed by the earth, I wasn't scared or regretful. Just a little sorry. It felt like nobody in this world loved me. In my final moments, a strange electronic voice suddenly spoke, calling itself a system. It told me there were people who loved me in another world, and their love was giving me a chance at rebirth. The system said, "Those who love you will help change your destined fate. Cherish it. Not everyone gets such an opportunity." When I opened my eyes again, I was 13. A boy about my age came up to me, handing me a lollipop. "You gave all your candy to Julian, so I'll share mine with you." He was the one from that other world, the one responsible for loving me. He was really good to me. How good, you ask? Meticulous is the only word that seems to describe it. The things I liked, wanted, dreamed of, and desired, he made them happen for me. The only downside was that he didn't like Julian. Every time I tried to help Julian, he always found a way to stop me, and that made me unhappy. Aren't you supposed to like me? Why can't you be nice to the boy I like? Julian just fancied his uniquely shaped pen, and he started being mean. If you want something, you gotta give something in return, huh? This isn't the only pen in the world. If you like it, buy one yourself. Where's the nerve to just ask for it like that? He directly made Julian cry. When I asked him to apologize to Julian for the first time, those loving eyes showed something other than affection. Apologize to him? Are you serious? You made him cry. Isn't an apology appropriate? He scoffed. Because it's Julian, right? So, right and wrong don't matter. Julian is so gentle, so innocent. How could he be wrong? Isn't it your words that were harsh? And aren't you supposed to like me? Why won't you listen to me? Just apologize." He suddenly laughed. "Man, this is ridiculous, Clara. How could I like someone like you?" He left without finishing his sentence. Watching his determined back, an inexplicable fear washed over me, like something was slipping away. Afterward, he never showed up again. But the system did. It said, "What a pity. He's given up on saving you. Your destiny hasn't changed, so your chance at rebirth ends here." Confused, I asked, "What do you mean?" The system didn't explain. It just said, "Don't worry. The world you're in has been activated. As long as someone wants to save you, you can still have another chance at rebirth. Just make sure not to waste someone's genuine care again. If no one loves you in that world, your existence is meaningless. You would then—" The system didn't finish. It sent me back into the abyss. I don't know how long it was before I was reborn again because someone new came to save me. Yet he gave up even sooner than the last guy. He cursed me on his way out. "Clara, you're such a massive fool. Just go die over and over again." I kept dying and coming back to life. Those who said they loved me didn't stick around for long. Their initial passion faded fast. What kind of love is that? If you love me, shouldn't you prove it with actions? What do you mean by just by knowing you anyone would see you're not worth loving? Clara, you don't deserve so many people liking you. Isn't it that their affection is too shallow? They say they love me, but what do they really love? If they can't even accept the real me, can that be called love? Even the system, always so businesslike with its flat tone, began to sound colder. I could even sense sarcasm and disdain in its electronic voice. "Sorry to tell you, there aren't many people left in that world who love you. When the last person's love for you hits 0, that's when you'll be erased." I was stunned. What a joke! Why should my life depend on a bunch of strangers' shaky love? The system chuckled. "My apologies, but garnering their love is your reason to exist. What you don't seem to get is that if you were worth it, their love would be stable. Instead of blaming others, maybe you should reflect on yourself and see if there's something wrong with you. Starting today, the game rules have changed. You will be the one chasing after them, meaning your task is to maintain the Savior's love for you. As long as they love you, you'll keep living. Otherwise, you'll die. By the way, the number of people who love you is decreasing rapidly. If you fail this time, you will be erased for good." What a joke. How did it come to this? The system replied, "You must know you should have died already. It's their love that saved you." Then Leo came along. At first, he didn't seem any different from the others. His eyes practically overflowed with affection for me. But he was different in some ways. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years passed, and he never gave up on me. He's assertive, reads situations well, and is flexible. Things previous saviors wouldn't do. If I said I wanted it, he'd do it. Like giving Julian lots of his stuff. Like apologizing to Julian even when he wasn't wrong. Like when I sided with Julian against him over and over, blaming, reprimanding, and pressuring him. Yet he never planned to abandon me. He seemed to truly love me, and he did. He was willing to offend Serena, that famously arrogant rich girl, for my sake. Like a general, he broke through enemy lines to rescue me. To keep Serena from bothering me, he stirred up public opinion, forced Serena to drop out, and she ended up studying abroad. I saw him get threatened by Serena's family more than once. They even threw dog blood and dead animals where he lived, but he never gave in. I really wanted to know, how far would he go for me? Doesn't he love me? Prove it. Show me how much you really love me. That group of people is shameless. When they saw Leo wouldn't back down, they turned to Julian. They told Julian that if he helped Serena's family with this issue, they would stop opposing him being with Serena and even pay for him to go abroad. Julian, what could he do? Cry, and that's about it. Sure enough, Leo turned him down right away, and Julian could only come crying to me. See? Only I can solve your problems. I love you unconditionally, unlike Serena. She'll just keep hurting you. So look at me, Julian. I never thought Leo would cry, but he did. He looked at me in disbelief, tears streaming down his face, sobbing so hard he almost fainted. Still, he agreed to what I wanted, because it's what I hoped for. It turns out, as long as I say it's what I want, he'll listen to me. After that, Leo seemed to change, but I couldn't quite put my finger on how. He still didn't leave me, still wouldn't refuse my requests. I guess he really does love me. I think I might be starting to like him a little, mostly because I've gotten used to him being around. With him, everything goes smoothly for me. So I confessed my feelings to him and even proposed. The longer I am with him, the more I like him. I can't seem to be without him. Or rather, I don't want to be. He's handsome, capable, makes money, isn't clingy, doesn't get jealous, doesn't throw fits, doesn't fight with me, doesn't control me, and definitely wouldn't leave me just because of Julian. He's like the perfect boyfriend. If it's him, I'd stay with him forever. Julian isn't going to say yes to being with me anyway. We've been together for 15 years now, and we're getting married soon. Honestly, I'm a bit excited. I never thought I'd have my own family one day, and the best part is marrying a perfect guy. But then Julian showed up, the day before my wedding, inviting me to his and Serena's wedding. Are you kidding? I'm getting married tomorrow. There's no way I'm saying yes to such a ridiculous request. What I didn't expect was Leo agreeing to it. I didn't know how to react at first. Then it hit me. Maybe because I never refused Julian before, Leo thought I'd want to go. So he really loves me, right? I don't know why, but when he calmly talked about canceling our wedding, I felt this gripping fear. It's okay, I told myself. He's only doing it because he loves me so much. Seeing how long it's been since I've seen Julian, he probably thinks we have a lot to catch up on, giving us space. Julian wanted to see my work when he learned I had become a renowned designer, so I showed him an emerald necklace that Leo and I had designed together. The necklace and a matching brooch were made from a single emerald. The necklace was mine, and the brooch was Leo's, meant for us to wear at our wedding. Julian loved the necklace and asked if he could have it. I refused. These were only for Leo and me. I knew Julian was disappointed, but I told him I'd give him something else. What I didn't expect was for Julian to steal the necklace. When I saw it around his neck at the wedding, I wanted to snatch it back right there. But it was their wedding, and he was being all sweet, saying Serena would only wear it for the day and then return it. It should be fine, right? Leo won't care. He loves me too much to care. I heard people making fun of him, but those people are just annoying. Leo can handle it. He's always been strong. What I never saw coming was Leo giving away the matching brooch to Serena and then telling my mom he wasn't going to marry me. He said he'd be leaving soon. No way. Even he is giving up on me? No, that can't happen. Yes, that's it. Once we're married, he's mine, and he can't leave me. They say catching the bouquet means you'll be the next to marry. As long as nothing unexpected happens, he'll be happy and safe forever. Go catch it, Leo. Then we can get married. He agreed, but he missed it. It's all Julian's fault, throwing it so far. He promised he would hand it directly to Leo. I watched Leo smile, reassuring me, saying I could see Julian more often now. Who said I want to see him? This meeting made me realize I don't want to see him at all. What I want... Looking at Leo's indifferent eyes, I suddenly felt a deep, chilling fear. It was like something had silently disappeared without me even noticing. A system reminder popped up and told me it was his love for me that had vanished. I've never been so scared. Leo doesn't love me anymore, and he's leaving. The despair of it all is crushing. What a pity. He was the last person in the world to love you, But you couldn't keep his love. A character abandoned by readers has no reason to exist. Termination countdown begins. No, please, one more chance. 3, 2, 1. No. I thought I saw Leo. He looked down on me, his expressionless gaze falling on my broken body. Those eyes, once filled with so much love, were now completely empty. In my last moment, he seemed to smile. Sure enough, someone like this doesn't deserve love. Then, he disappeared, right in front of me. All I ever wanted was for the Leo who loved me to stay by my side forever.